What's happening right now with Brooklyn and his parents isn't celebrity drama. It's a live example of how cutoff culture is breaking families and people are using their pain for entertainment. A family that's clearly hurting has been turned into like reaction videos, shock faces, so much gossip and mockery like this is some kind of series instead of real human loss happening in real time. And yes, that comes with being famous, but the empathy is gone. Nobody watching actually knows their story, yet strangers are picking sides like they were sitting in the room when everything happened. Every viral take, every dramatic comment, every judgment filled comment section just pours salt on the wound that already exists. Imagine your most painful family moment being laughed at and analyzed by millions, and imagine it happening with your own child. That's what people are cheering on right now. And I work with parents like living this exact reality every single day. And I can tell you that this pattern is painfully common. Power shift estrangement is so real. When a partner or an in-law enters, dynamics change, loyalty shifts, and then narratives start forming behind these closed doors. And I've seen it again and again. But I'm also not blind to the other side where parents can be controlling, can be potentially manipulative, overly protective, emotionally reactive. And sometimes children feel like the only way to stand up for themselves is to pull away and to cut ties. So yes, he has every right to want independence and standards and respect. That part is valid. The issue is not the standards. The issue is when boundaries and these standards turn into total disappearance and cutoff, because cutoff has become the modern way to take control. Instead of saying, this is what I need, it becomes accept everything or lose me. And parents, out of fear and hurt, often respond emotionally, push harder, try to fix it fast, which only makes it worse. Both sides dig in and both sides are escalating. And love gets buried under this pride and ego and pressure and influence. And that's the real tragedy here, not the disagreement, but the breakdown of communication. And there is another way, but it's uncomfortable. And it requires so much maturity. A child can set standards without erasing their family. A parent can love their child enough to release control even when it hurts their identity and their expectations. Hard conversations instead of these silent punishments, these boundaries is a form of self-respect, not building walls and emotional exile. Repair can't happen when one side disappears and the other side gets dragged publicly. It only happens when both are willing to sit in the discomfort instead of using the distance or control as power. And behind every headline is still a mother that's being judged in the hardest and harshest way possible, being told that she failed at the one role that probably mattered the most to her. Most mothers who become too much weren't trying to harm their child. They believed that they were protecting them and guiding them and doing better than what they experienced. And that doesn't make every decision right, but it also doesn't mean that they deserve to lose their child completely or to be shamed for it. Two things can be true at the same time. A child can feel suffocated and still love their parents, and a parent can make mistakes and be overly controlling and still love their child deeply. But we've created a culture where instead of working through that tension, people are cutting ties and then they're calling it growth. And that is not strength. That is the avoidance that I talk about. And it leaves devastation that nobody talks about later. And the scariest part isn't even the situation. It's how many people are cheering it on like it's this form of empowerment. They're celebrating estrangement. They're picking sides in a family that they know nothing about, acting like silence is this equals maturity. And if they weren't famous, people would see this for what it really is: heartbreaking. Families don't fall apart overnight. They fall apart when pride wins, when influence wins, when nobody wants to bend, when communication is breaking down and then becomes leverage instead of love. And cutoff is the easiest way to feel powerful when you don't know how to handle the pain. Walking away is so easy, but repair takes emotional strength. And right now, the world is applauding the easy thing.